So hello everyone. So this is orientation session for algorithmic thinking for bioinformatics as well as advanced algorithm and statistical computing. So we want to discuss first about advanced algo and uh, algorithmic thinking in bioinformatics, that part. Yeah, so can you please can start.
So should I start with advanced algorithms?
Whatever you want.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'll be discussing for the course outline for advanced algorithms. So in advanced algorithms, so first of all, to begin with, what this course is about. So this course is about studying different advanced problems in algorithm design. This is, as the name suggests, this is a very like the next part of the PDSA course. So whatever we have seen in PDSA will extend the course contents to its next version. So this is the idea of this course, behind this course. So here we'll be looking into different advanced problems in algorithm design that we can use in real life scenarios. We will look into this performance guarantees of the algorithms. Then there will be we'll look into different ways on how to handle NP complete problems. So in real life scenarios, if we are facing some NP complete problems, so we will need to tackle them. We can just leave those problems, right? Those different ways to tackle such kind of problems, we'll look into this part in this course. So the structure of the course is we are having we as we already know from PDSA, we are having an NP complete NP class. So P is a subset of this NP class. We already know that. This course structure will be in two parts. So the first part of the course structure will be handling these problems in P. So for that we will be looking into, we have already looked a lot of problems in P in PDSA course, but here we'll be looking into the different advanced problems in this course. What are the some more problems in each of these different techniques that we have looked from P. So all of that will come into the first half of the course. The second half of the course will be, as I've already mentioned, it will be on tackling NP hard problems. So if we are given these NP complete problems or NP hard problems, so how do we tackle this, or do we just leave them? We can't just leave them. So we'll look into different methods, different techniques on how to solve or how to tackle these NP hard problems. So the evaluation will be on weekly assignments. Then there will be a quiz. There will be two quizzes. The first quiz will be based on the course contents from 1 to 4, and the second quiz will be based on course contents from 5 to 8. And finally, there will be an end term based on the content from all the weeks. This course will be having like 10 weeks course content. So here's the course content. So in the first few weeks, first 5 weeks, we'll be looking into different into problem advanced problems from the P for advanced problems in P. So first of all, in week one, we'll look into greedy algorithms. So in greedy algorithms, we already know what greedy algorithms are, and we have seen a lot of problems in greedy in the PDSA. But here we'll look into some more problems on greedy algorithms. In week two, we'll look into matroids. So we'll know matroids. It's a kind of a data structure. So it's not exactly a data structure, but it is more like a data structure that can be used as a technique to solve greedy algorithms. So we'll look into how we can use matroids and solve greedy algorithms. In week three, we'll look into advanced problems on dynamic programming. Similar to the week one, we have already seen a lot of problems on DP, but here we'll look into some more problems on DP. On week four, we'll look into path width and tree width. These are again techniques, and we can use these techniques. These are data structures, kind of data structures, but they can be used as techniques to solve these DP programming, DP problems also. So that we will look into in week four, how we can use this tree width thing to solve the problems that can be solved using DP. Okay. In week five, we look into network flows. This is something similar to the network flows, the flow algorithms that we have already seen in PDSA. It will be something that will be in the course. This week course content will be based on that, but it will be obviously will be some more extra information on network flows, on the details of network flows, and all of that. Coming to week 6, from week 6 onwards, we'll go into the second half of the course, the second part of the course, which will be on NP hard and NP complete problems. So, first of all, we'll look into a recap of complexity classes, the different complexity, what are the different complexity classes. We'll just have a recap from the PDSA course, and then we'll look into some different interesting problems like the vertex cover problem or the independent set problem, and some similar problems in different complexity classes, subset sum, vertex cover. All of these are in different complexity classes. We'll look in introduction to these different problems. From week 7 onwards, we'll look into different techniques to hand tackle these complexity classes. For starting with approximation algorithms, these are a form of algorithms where we approximately solve where the solution will be an approximation of the actual solution. So for that, for an example problem, we'll look into the vertex cover problem. Similarly, in week 8, we look for randomized algorithms. Randomized algorithms can be actually, we have already seen, we can solve quick sort. We know the quick sort problem. It is a P problem, but there is a randomized version of the quick sort problem. So these randomized algorithms use this randomization thing, and using this randomization, how we can solve this quick sort problem. So that will be an example problem to explain how to understand how randomized algorithms work. But in reality, we can use randomized algorithms to solve these NP complete problems also. So we look into how to solve NP complete problems using randomized algorithms, but for an example point of view, we'll be using this quick sort problem. Similarly, for week 9, we will be looking into new algorithmic techniques, which like branch and bound algorithms and color coding. So these are different algorithmic techniques, and for these there will be a few NP complete problems as an example that we look into, like maximum independent set or something like that. We look into some problems in this for each of these techniques. So, week 10 will be on parameterized algorithm. There is a new different complexity class which is called as a FTT complexity, for fixed parameter tractability. So what that is, we'll look into that, and we'll look into what that complexity class is and how to handle how to use that complexity class to solve and be complete problems. So we can look into what parameterized algorithms. So algorithms which solve these fixed parameter tractable problems are called parameterized algorithms. So we look into how we can use this parameterized algorithms and fixed parameter tractability to tackle some of these complexity classes. So for in this particular set of complexity classes, there is a particular technique called iterative compression. We'll also look into iterative compression briefly. Yeah. So this is for advanced algorithms. Any questions regarding this course structure or anything?
So one thing like although it is shown like 10 week, but this time we may come up with all 12-week
Okay.
content.
Yeah.
Maybe some redistribution of the content may happen. And as far as the assessment, like we'll have the weekly assignments and 2 quizzes and the end. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, uh,
Okay.
should I go to ATV?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so ATP, algorithmic thinking in bioinformatics. This is more of we look into computational biology problems and how to handle them using algorithms and ML models. So this is basically to looking into what this course is about. Is this course will in this course we will look into real life applications of algorithms and ML models. Whatever we have already learned from these different courses, those are more like theoretical courses. Like for example, the advanced algorithms, we looked into this different problems and how to solve those problems. But in this course, we'll encounter real life problems, real life issues that we face to solve solve problems concerning genetics, concerning biology, concerning biomedicine, and all of those. to address those important questions, to address those valuable questions, we will be looking into how we can use computational techniques like our algorithms, data structures, and including our different ML models to solve those problems. So this course will be based on that. So for this particular course, we will be requiring information from different other courses. This will be a combination of all of those, whatever you have learned till now. You will be requiring those techniques from different courses, and then you will be applying those techniques on the different problems that we will be looking into. So the structure of this course will be in every week. We will be beginning with a biological question. We will have a biological question that will require some biological inputs, and it will have some expected output. We need some particular output. So now to handle this biological question, we will reframe this question into a computational problem, and we will now this computational problem, whatever the problem we are having, that can be in the p complexity or in the np complexity, which I have already discussed for advanced algorithm. So we can have a solvable problem or an unsolvable problem, if it, or we can have an np problem or something like that. So if we are having a solvable p time problem, then obviously what is the algorithm for that, then what kind of output this algorithm is generating, how similar this output will be to this expected output. Then we'll also look into how we can improve these algorithms, the time complexity of these algorithms, are there some better performance algorithms or something, stuff like that. We'll address those, we'll solve this biological question using these algorithms. On the other hand, if the problem is unsolvable, then are there any particular methods? Can we tweak the problem to solve to solve the question, or can we tweak the problem itself? How do we handle those problems? What are the different open questions, and how do we handle those problems? How do we tackle those those scenarios? And what else can we do instead of if we can't solve this problem, what else we can do? So those things we will be looking into. That is the structure, overall structure for this particular course. Okay. So here evaluation will also be similar. We'll be having a weekly assignment and two quizzes. Quiz one will be from week 1 to week 4, quiz to 5 to 8, and then there will be an term for consisting of all the weeks. There are 12 weeks for this particular course, and there will be few programming assignments, but for some of the weeks only. Now coming to the course content, so as I already discussed, there will be two parts of the course. First, we begin with a biological question, and then we will reframe it into a computational question. So in the week one, we'll give an overview of the entire molecular biology and the different terminology that we will require throughout this course. So this course will not be biology oriented. Whatever little information about the biology, or what the little information required to understand the biological data or the biological input data, that we will provide in this week one content. So everything related to biology, whatever it will be provided during week one content only. And after that, we will just encounter this biological terminologies for this to understand the input, the question, a biological question, to understand the biological input and all of that. So from week 2 onwards, it will be more like the structure that I have already discussed. According to that structure, the course content will be designed. So for week 2, we look into something called as a path detection problem in something called gene regulatory networks. So we have something called gene regulatory networks. In those networks, we'll be addressing the problem of path detection, and now we'll reframe this problem into two different types of problems, computational problems. One will use color coding, the same color coding that I discussed about in advanced algorithms, and then there is a part portion of the problem which will be framing it using the logistic regression problem. Similarly, in week 3, we'll look into the reconstruction of the DNA sequencing problem, and for that, we'll reformulate this problem into computational problems for Hamiltonian path and Eulerian path problems. So both of these problems again we'll look into in advanced algorithms. You can look into that part. Then in week 4, we'll have the sequence alignment problem, which in biology, which we will reformulate into the longest common subsequence problem. So for this longest common subsequence problem, this we have already seen in PDS. So we have already seen the longest common subsequence problem. So we'll see here how exactly we can use this longest common subsequence problem to solve the sequence alignment problem in biology. So all of these are according to that. We'll see how we can use these computational problems to solve the biological problem. So in week 5 will be about evolution, how evolution has happened and how the evolutionary trees, how human beings have evolved or how different species, the current species have evolved over time. So for that, we'll look into this tree construction problems, how we will construct the evolutionary tree and all of that. Then in week 6, we'll have this mutation detection problem. Mutation is about changes in genes which cause genetic diseases. So for week 6, we will look into this mutation detection problem. So for this mutation detection, we'll actually reframe this problem into a pattern matching problem, and we'll look into how to solve this pattern matching problem using tree data structures, a special version, special variant of tree data structures. And similarly, in week 7, we'll look into the evolutionary history of winemaking. So, this is basically on how exactly yeast has evolved into yeast evolves to in in making of wine. We already know that when we make wine, yeast is an extremely important ingredient. So, we'll look into how the question here that we'll address is how this yeast evolves into. And for that, this problem we will actually reformulate it and pose it into a clustering problem, and we'll see how we can use k-means clustering and different forms of clustering algorithms to solve this problem. Okay. In week 8, we will look into what is called as the motive finding problem, and for that, we'll be reformulating it into a computational problem called as the motive search problem. And in week 9 and week 10 are slightly different. This will be about a new technique called as the EM algorithm. So this EM algorithm is a ML model. Actually, it's an algorithm using an ML model. So I'll discuss this EM algorithm, what this ML model, the model, and everything about this model in week 9. In week 10, we'll look into the applications of this EM algorithm, how to in biology, in for to solve the problems that we have already seen. Like for example, week 8 motive finding problem, how we can use this EM algorithm to solve this motive finding problem. So that also we will look into in week 10. Okay. Week 11 and week 12 will be on week 11 will be on peptide composition finding to find the compositions of protein. So proteins. So that will be on week 11, and for that we'll formulate it as something called as the cyclopeptide sequencing problem. So for that cyclopeptide sequencing problem, that actually uses a little bit of branch and bound algorithm that I was discussing for advanced algorithms. In advanced algorithms, we have this branch and bound technique. So that technique we will be using here for week 11. In week 12 is about genome rearrangements in evolution. So it is basically an overview, a deeper look into evolution. Here in week 7, week 5, we look into evolutionary trees. What species has evolved into what species, right? But here in week 12, we look into how the genetic changes have happened during this evolution. So for that, we'll just reformulate this into something called as a two-break distance problem. So for this, we will be using graphs. We'll use a special kind of graphs that contains both directed and undirected matches. We'll use those graphs to solve to find how many genetically how many changes have occurred in our genetics for one species to evolve into another species. We will look into that particular problem using a special kind of graph. We'll solve that particular problem using special kind of problem. So this is the course content for algorithmic thinking in bioinformatics. That's all from my side. So
Okay, so any question?
Yeah. So, will it be done like more of like in the programming sense, or more focus on the theory part of it?
Which one?
The
Advanced. Sorry.
the algorithmic thinking and
The
bioinformatics.
algorithmic thinking in bioinformatics, we will be looking for a few weeks. We'll be having this programming assignment. So for that, it will be more programming oriented. For those parts, you can look into the programming of that. We'll provide links where we can you can practice different programming approaches, but it will be a little bit more on the theory side. Not exactly theory, but we'll not look into hardcore programming or programming these different algorithms we'll be discussing, but it will be more oriented on how to design these algorithms, how these algorithms have been designed, and how these algorithmic techniques can be used to solve the problems. It will be not like hardcore programming, like we will be programming these algorithms. That part will not be there, but for a few assignments we'll be having that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Sir, sir.
Hi, Pratham. You have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Does ATV have any coding assignments like we did in BDBN?
Yes, there will be a few programming assignments for two of the weeks. Not like for every week. We will not be having programming assignments for every week, but we will be having programming assignments for a few of weeks. Any other questions, Preeta?
Ma'am, for like that advanced algorithm and advanced this bioinformatics,
Yeah.
will there be like any OPPs,
No. OPPs, you mean programming?
No,
No,
programming quiz? Yeah.
no, no, no.
no, no.
Uh, so what about statistical computing?
Yeah, hi, Shashik. Yeah. You have any question from Statistical Computing?
Yeah, I just want to know like what the course is about, like what will be taught in that.
Okay. So in Statistical Computing, you will have like the first 6 weeks of the course, or more like the sampling, different kinds of sampling methods. So that will be discussed in from week 1 to 6. And if you look at the assignment part, it is more like everything will have to be done in art, and the assignments will be have to be like a pen and paper, right? So it's not on the portal. You will be given the assignment, and some questions have to be done in art, some has to be typed and send it to us. So that is about week 1 to 6, where you learn different kind of sampling. Then moving forward to week 7 to 12, it is more on the optimization part. So optimization as in like what is your EM algorithm, what is your gradient descent, gradient ascent, maximization, minimization algorithm, right? So basically, the algorithms, optimization techniques is what you're going to learn at week 7 to 12. And again, the assignments are similar. Like the assignments will be has to be done in R, and few of them will be have to be typed and sent. And if you look at the mode of the exam for statistical computing, it happens in center, but the first exam is computer based, where like the kind of questions would be more like what you have done, like seen in the lecture, right? And so far you would have been writing the exams in computer based, right? So first quiz is going to be like that, but the second quiz and the end term exam is going to be pen and paper. So you will be given set of questions and it will be evaluated on that basis. So these are the mode of exams for statistical computing.
Okay. Ma'am, so like when you say like pen and paper,
Hmm.
we'll be
Yeah.
writing like mathematical stuff or
Yeah. So
code
it's
program.
no code, but like if we say pen and paper, and if there are questions which involves code, so maybe a snippet of code is given to you, and then you are asked something, right? So if it comes from coding, it's going to be like that. Rest, it can be a mix of objective and subjective. And objective, when it is objective, maybe it's like fill in the blanks or MCQ, MSQ kind. And subjective is somewhere where you might have to prove something, or you might have to work on the problem and come to a result, right? So questions like that. And yes, like it is there are going to be maths involved in it. Not very heavy, but there are maths. More like calculus kind of maths, not anything apart from that. If you know calculus, I think this is good enough.
So, will it be like a sort of like a continuation from like the deep learning subjects, like those type of gradient descents kind of thing?
Um, I won't say like it has been taught in a very different direction. I won't say the continuation of DL. So it starts more like you would have studied the estimation problem, right? So you start from the basic ML estimation, and then you build up to maybe like gradient descent method or Newton-Raphson method. Like how do we solve such kind of problem? Then maximization, minimization problem, which is also called algorithm. Then you move to the EM algorithm, right? So whatever your objective is, like what are the other alternatives that through which you can solve those optimization problem? It's more on the mathematical side.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. For the bioinformatics course, like in terms of uh, applying them in the real world, like is it more towards like the research part of it, or is it something like you know it, it'll be like the considered for like applying for jobs, or is it like more focused towards the research part of it for higher education and stuff like that?
No, it's not research part. It's not focused on research. It's more like exploring the different fields which have already been researched. So the different problems which have already been solved. So these are research problems that have already been solved. So we'll look into what kind of problems in these fields that have already been solved and what open problems are still there, what researchers are still addressing. So it will be more or less like exploring and exploring the different problems that have been solved using these computational techniques. It will not be like we will be doing some kind of a research or something. We will explore what kind of research has already been done to solve these biological problems using computational techniques. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Uh, so, Arup, can we close this or should we wait?
Uh, sir, ma'am, if there is like a playlist link which you can share for like the lecture video so that I can just see like the content and review like something like that.
This is for which course, Ashvik?
All three if possible.
All three.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I will share it for statistical computing here. Okay.
How do we share the YouTube link?
Asukan, you don't have to share.
Okay.
Prashant will share.
I have shared in the chat, Shashik.
Yes, ma'am. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Ma'am, can you share the link for the playlist link for biometrics and advanced algorithms, please?
Arup sir, Arup sir,
Yeah.
the links for bioinformatics and advanced algorithms. I'll share on the
Link for?
links for Sastrik wants the links for the bioinformatics and advanced algorithm YouTube playlist. Should I share on the chat box?
Yeah, yeah. Or you can share your mail ID. Okay, so you can send a mail and you can reply on that.
Yeah, sure. Sastrik?
Yeah,
Hello?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have shared my mail ID. Sorry. Just wait. That's not my mail ID. I'll share my mail ID. I'm sharing my mail ID on the chat box. It's study.iitm.ac.in. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
So please use that and share. Send me a mail. I'll reply to that. Okay. I'll
Okay.
share that list. msukyani at study.iitm.ac.in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks, Sastrik. Do you have any question or?
No, sir. That's it.
Okay, good. Thanks. Okay, then we will close this call now. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you
Thank
so much, sir. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
चलो